The first area we'll look at is the Act subscription. From the point of view of existing customers, those who will be on a silver contract and are Act Premium Cloud customers, this doesn't really affect you because in theory you've been on a subscription type model for several years now. Where the subscription is more focused are people that haven't, the old way of using Act was to upgrade every 2 to 3 versions, and as a result there was a heavy cost associated to that with nothing done for 3 years. Going forward, the only business model, and it's a business model they've kind of had in place for a while, will be a subscription. So as part of that subscription, you'll get all your upgrades included, all your support will be included, and the big thing as I've put on here will be the compatibility. With the speed in which Microsoft are changing things, especially with the release of 365, this is an area that we've found to be very important. So no one's falling behind on any sort of compatibility with any of your Office products. And Microsoft, as with most things, seems to be leading the way with Office 365 on a subscription, hence why you will find most software is now going to a subscription. The benefit of this is Act will still remain as an on-premise software as an option, so don't worry, as some people have, that it's all going to go into the cloud. There's a key feature of Act is the deployment options of being able to have it on your servers or for us to host it. So going forward, that will continue, and they don't envisage changing that anytime soon. As part of any subscription, and as with silver contracts at the moment, Act Connect feature is included. So I'll go into that in a bit more detail shortly, but basically Act Connect is allowing you to integrate into other applications quickly and easy compared to in past versions. But I will go into that in a bit more detail. There'll be some of you who are still running the Pro version. Going forward, the Professional version will not be available on a subscription. They will still be selling Professional, but there'll be no contracts or subscription that includes any upgrades or support with that. So as a result, it's not all bad in that there are reduced subscription pricing to get you onto Pro, get you off Pro onto the Premium version, and therefore benefit from the new features that are going to be available on Premium. Professional will very much stay the same, and will almost be maintained for the smaller clients, as opposed to the increased features that are going to be available on Premium and Premium Cloud. Right, so the first area I'll begin on is the Act Connect. So let me just open my browser up and just log into here. So for the purpose of this, I'll be doing this demonstration on my hosted version that we've got set up here. So don't worry if it doesn't look like your on-premise version. This is just where we have it set up at the moment. So in short, Act Connect has replaced the marketplace. The marketplace used to be where you could come and see add-ons that third parties had produced and were selling to link in with Act and enhance the ability of what Act can do. So the marketplace is still available. So there are still add-ons that you can pick up to work with Act. But moving into very modern times, they have looked to allow a web API. So what Web API allows you to do is link with other online applications quickly and easily. Processes like this in the past used to take 2 to 3 days of development time to be able to set this up. So basically, in keeping with Act, it is a relatively cost-effective piece of software. They are also looking to make any sort of connections, meaningful connections, cost-effective as well. So the first one we can show you, and this one has actually been produced by SwiftPage and Act themselves, and this is the ability to link in with Office 365, your online Office 365 account. I know obviously everybody won't have that, but it is the way things are going. They saw this as a key feature because they have started to realise that a lot of people access Office over the web through their Office 365 account, but still want that integration with Act and their Act contacts. So you can see here, that's the Act Premium contact link. and what that does is just link with your Office 365. So if I show you on my account, so this is my Office 365, basically what the Premium Contact allows you to do is, if we have people working on a day-to-day basis through their Office account, which people still do, even though they have a CRM system, in this case being Act, what this allows you to do is, when you're in this account, still be able to access information from your Act database through Office without having to come out of Office, log into Act and look at that information, whereas a lot of people, we've realised, want to be able to see that information quickly when they've received that email, and even be able to attach it later on. So what this has done is, we have this Act Premium Contact here. So this is an email I've received from Katie Miller, so obviously it doesn't make sense, and this is coming into my account here. All I do is click on the Act Premium Contact, and what this does is it pulls information from my Act account that I have set up, and will give me quick access to Katie's contact details. From here as well, I can also quick attach that. So this is where it links in with the existing Outlook integration. There is a quick attach on there. The idea of this being, it's more modern, quicker and easier to do. So all you do, quick attach, and that would attach straight into the database. And as in the past, if I go to Katie's account, I'll show you how that's linked in. So there's Katie's account. We go into the history, and we can see that email has been auto-attached through our Office 365 Outlook. From here as well, you can also, again, good for when people are on the road, in a rush, when you're at work, in the office, you can create a quick scheduler to do. So from there, this will schedule you a to-do in your Act database. So that's using that email, you can say what it's regarding, what date it is, and that'll schedule that in your Act diary for you. Again, saving some time there. Don't worry about that. There will also be a list of all your interactions, so you'll get a list of all your history and activities between yourself and Katie Miller in the account as well. So that is a key feature. As part of Connect, that is completely included. So as long as you're on a subscription, on the latest version, Act Connect is included, and the Outlook connector. It's an area they're developing on as well, so I would expect to see more functionality from that link in the near future as well. Carrying on with Act Connect as well, you might have seen there are also these other applications available on here. What Act have looked to do is utilise a global leader in application interfacing called Zapier. So basically what Zapier does is a platform allowing applications to be added to their platform, and then you can make meaningful links between the two. And what this is doing is actually saving time of any sort of development between two applications. So just to give you a real quick idea of what Zapier includes, we've yet to come across many applications that aren't actually on here. So from Act's point of view, they've created an application, they put it on here. So if I just go down, and Act will be on here. So there's Act Premium. So that application is on there, and what's that allowing you to do is a very American term. You can create zaps. So a zap is basically an integration. So what we've done on here is a basic integration between a contact form and your Act account. So if I go to My Zaps, and I'll go into one of these and show you exactly how that's set up. So we've got this one here. And again, the idea being similar to something like a software like Act. It's user-friendly and quick and easy to do. You don't need to be a developer to be able to set this up. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. So all I've done here is using Wufoo, which is one of the most popular contact form creators. So a Wufoo basic account is free. So you can see from here, I've got 2 more forms I can create. So from a point of view, if you've got a website and you want a basic form on there and be able to import all that information into Act, you can do that free of charge. So all I've done here is this basic form. Basically, this would be on my website. Ask for your name, your address, and it could be, please fill out this form. to inquire about this piece of software, anything. And you've even got a how do you find us on there. And this is very easy to create. You can also add files to it if you need to as well. If I go back to my main page, what you can also do is share that link. So when I go on to share, anybody, your website developer or yourself, if you control your website, you can actually embed that form within your website. So you can do it in JavaScript, WordPress or iframe. Or, for the purpose of this, we can do a simple link and it creates this page for you. So when you go on here, that's that page. It's already set that up for me free of charge. So that could be a link within an email, a website, anything. And then from there, if I filled in all that information, that will then go directly into my Act account as a contact. So that's all I've got that set up as. So, and this is as simple as it is. If I go in here, choose my Wufoo account, this is the trigger I've set against this Wufoo, this contact form. So this is saying a new entry triggers every time someone fills out your form. There's your first step. You connect to your Wufoo account. So this is my account I've set up there that we were just in. My test form, again, what I was using on there is my only form I've got. So that's tested. And then from there, you choose then your next step. So in this case, we're going to be using Act Premium. Then what this is doing from Act, and almost when you're watching this, imagine how it could work within your business and within different applications as well. So that's another point, because the possibilities of something like Zapier, and even for us to create a link for you to your own piece of software, is now very open. If you have any questions, do just put them to me at the end, and we can certainly look into that for you. So as Act for an application itself, you can see what this is going to allow me to do is it could either create an activity, a contact, a history, or a note within Act. Or if it's someone, in a case of if the chances are you're getting repeat business, but they're registering for you through your web, they can find or create a contact. So if it finds that contact, it will just update that account with the entry from Wufoo. So next step, so that's my Act Premium account in there. And then what you can do is this way you can start to line up your fields. So the fields that I had in my Wufoo contact form, now I can line them up to my Act fields. So the application, again, is giving you all your Act fields, so these are coming directly from my database in Act. And I can go through and choose where I line those fields up to. So you can see here, I've already lined a few of them up, and the purpose of that is as soon as that contact form is filled out, it goes straight into Act. And going forward, at the moment, it is an area they're currently developing to be able to put your custom fields from Act in here and be available, so you can have a much more meaningful contact form. But the purpose at the moment is it's much better than what we've had in the past. And then it tests it and creates it and continues for you. So that is basically how that will work. For the purpose of Zapier, again, to have an account is free. You can have up to five zaps on the free account. So that would just be, for example, a entry in Wufoo going into an Act contact. If you did require further steps, which you can link into even more applications, it is only $20 a month. Not overly sure what the exchange rate is at the moment, but it's still not a massive amount to be able to have multi-step zaps, and I think it then goes up to about 30 zaps that you need. Generally, for a small business, medium business, that is more than enough. But the sort of additional steps you can put in are, like I said, linking to different applications, but also within Zapier, you get these Zapier built-in apps. So you could put a delay on there. You can do an email to that. So that could be every time there's a new entry, goes as in that contact, you would be notified of that going in there straight away. Likewise, you could also have it as a text message if needed as well. So that just gives you a really quick idea of what Zapier can do. It's certainly worth, even in your own time, just having a look through the Zapier site and just seeing what sort of connections you can make. And this is what we see as one of the biggest changes to the integration with Act there has been for some time, and it's already an area that has been quite popular with people who've already upgraded to 18.2. Probably a little bit more popular than we actually anticipated ourselves. The next area I was going to go on to, as I mentioned at the start, this has been part of ACT for many years, but we see it as an area that is strangely underused. And all we see that is the basic Outlook integration. So this is going to be slightly different from what you can do through ACT Connect to your link with Office 365. What this does is basically allows you to store all your emails within ACT, be the received ones or the sent ones. And for some reason, like I say, it's a very underused area. We still have clients who decide to copy and paste into notes. So going forward, we obviously know it is the most effective way to save the email. So I've got the integration set up in this database, this local database I've got. So just as a quick link, all you would need to do is one click to bring that email up. Anything that's sent in here, be it an attachment or the content, would then be saved directly into the database. I appreciate some of the people might already use this feature, so it's really just a quick recap to show you basically what it can do. This area has been improved as well within the last couple of versions, as it was always known to be sometimes a little unstable. So it has now been improved with further improvements in version 19, which is released in November. So all we've done, email sent there. Areas which people probably aren't as aware of would be when you're actually receiving an email. So what the integration does is give you the add-ins. So as part of the add-ins, we have the quick attach, very similar to how it worked on the through ACT Connect into 365. So that'd be attaching to an account that we know is definitely in the database, someone you speak to commonly. You also have the ability to attach to a particular contact. This is sometimes a feature people aren't aware of. So it could be when you're speaking to, for example, a supplier, probably about another contact, a customer, you can save that email into their account so it's there to be viewed by everybody when it's relating to that. You can also create an ACT contact from the database, well, from your email, that goes straight into your database and avoids having to duplicate any data. There's also the ability to sync your contacts with ACT. As most people, well, most clients we are aware of, a lot still work on a day-to-day basis of Outlook, with ACT being their database for further information. So it's good to keep the contacts and the calendar synced with ACT at all times. So the area below is your calendar as well. Obviously important to everybody. Then there is also the ability to create an ACT activity. So again, as it's such a popular function on the existing integration that we have here, it was one that was added to the ACT Connect and 365. So to create an ACT activity using an email body, when you come back to that activity, you've got that all there in one place. So as I said, I appreciate there'll probably be a few people on the call who already use that functionality, but it's always worth a recap, and surprisingly, not enough people use it for one of the best features. The final area I'm going to cover, if I just log out this database quickly, is the ACT and Sage 50 link. As some of you will be aware, in the past there was an integration. There were problems with that integration, especially when ACT was sold to SwiftPage from Sage. So as you can imagine, it was quite difficult for both parties to continue that link working, and as a result, SwiftPage have looked to develop their own and basically produce a much improved, stable link. And since its release, as I said, this has been probably one of my most popular products for most of our clients. Anyone using Sage 50 and ACT, we don't really see a reason why this link wouldn't be used, even if it's by one or two users. So let me just load that up. The link gives you the option to view account information at either contact or company level. So for this case, I will be doing it at contact level. For those who use business to business, it works exactly the same at company level. Firstly, I'll just cover the setup very quickly. So when we actually go into the settings, you can choose your Act login, your Sage login, and where the data is stored. What you can do is then automatically link companies and contacts. If you link companies, it will automatically link contacts anyway. So if you have one company that has 6 contacts in it, the system will automatically link them anyway. So it won't just be the main contact in that company that you can view that with. It will be all of those contacts. Then you're able to basically align those fields. So all we've got set up in here is name to act field. Likewise, name to contact field. Then when you link these companies, that's done en masse. I've already done that in this database, so I won't need to do that now, but it just gives you an idea of how that's set up. Within the service, this is when you choose how often the database is synchronized. So we can see here, I've got this set up at a frequency of every minute, and it's been running for the last few days now, and that will consistently update that data when needed. So if I go out there, no changes made, so don't worry about that. So what the link would do is, if I use a better contact, it would be more useful. One we've actually used in the past. So if I go into this contact, we can see this field. The fields that this integration adds are the Sage account, Sage invoices, and Sage sales orders. So the Sage account, basically what this is doing is pulling in every single field from the Sage database. And at first, when I first saw this, I wondered what the point of that was, because that is quite messy and probably not very useful. What that actually allows you to do then is create app fields using any of that data. So then what that means is you can create, all I've done here, again I'm no developer, so this is quite rough. I've pulled in some fields from Sage against this account, and what that allows you to do is create any sort of groups or lookups based on that information. So a real basic one could be, you could have a group set up based on the account balance. If that group is set up as a dynamic group, meaning when that criteria is met, that group is populated, you could say everybody with an account balance over £200 would be in this group. You could then use that group to basically manage any monies owed into the account. And when that account balance goes down in Sage, because it's automatically updated in here, they'd be removed from that group anyway. But it gives you that idea of what you can look at. Same, you've got your year-to-date turnover. So if you want to have a look through your highest turnover customers, all you would have to do is come in here, do a very quick lookup. So I can do a right click on there, look at my turnover, and I could do a lookup based on everybody over a turnover of £100,000, and then that would list me my top turnover for that year. Furthermore, with regard to the link, you have a list of your invoices. Again, this is coming directly from Sage, and what you can see is this also gives you the ability to do a quick link into Sage. So this is assuming the user has an app database, their own login, and as well as their own Sage login on the same system. So that could be on the same network or server or PC. Then from that point, you can either go into one of these existing invoices and open them up, and what that will do will bring you a shortcut into Sage. So it pulls up that invoice from the Sage database, save you having to look at this account when you're working in Act, go into Sage, search it again, and search for those invoices. You've got that invoice here, so while you're on the phone potentially to a client or a prospect, you've got your invoice on here, and it could show if it's been paid as well. The other upside of this is you can create a new invoice, again saving you time in duplicating data, replicating data. So if I need to create a new invoice, this person's gone ahead with something and they want to go straight to an invoice, and they've asked for that to be sent, all I do is new invoice. So again, that will pull that up from Sage, and that's bringing me that product invoice against the client already. So it's already pulled up their information number, it's got your date, shows it's a product, and then from there I can start to build that invoice and invoice that customer. This works in a very similar way to the Sage sales orders as well. So if you have a case where most of your orders will come through a sales order, then a sales order can be placed in a similar way. If you need to go in, similar with the invoices, I can open that up and that will take me into the Sage sales order to be viewed. From there, you could even potentially edit that sales order if needed. So if someone's on the phone, actually, I need to change what was ordered there. That can be done in here, and you can also order, produce a new sales order from here as well. So that really is a real brief overview of what the accounting link can do. As I said, if there's anybody who wants me to go into that in a bit more detail, do just let me know, and I can even set a demonstration up a bit more company specific to make it look a bit more user friendly for yourselves. But as you can appreciate, this is quite an overview, just try and give people an idea of what that could do. With regards to pricing on that, you would need to be on a subscription, and it is an additional subscription charge. The basic cost is around about £99 a user, and that would be on the assumption that you need the full access to all your sales orders, a link to Sage, as well as the Sage account field. We appreciate, obviously, there are going to be people who will only need these custom fields. You do not need a license for those custom fields. For example, if you have 10 users in your business on Act, only 2 actually had access to Sage and needed to raise invoices and sales orders, you would only need 2 licenses of the integration. For those who didn't need that, you would still have access to these fields because they are now Act fields.